Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of SAHAJ Times podcast. My name is Lele. I'm the host of this podcast. And so we are trying to make this podcast actually more frequent. We are trying to make it weekly, not quickly, but weekly. And so if you want to become part, if you want to become a guest of the podcast, you can sign up to the form that you will find. You will find a link in the description. So you can sign up, but you can also suggest a guest or just to suggest a topic. It will be really interesting and also really helpful for us. So for today's episode, we want to share an incredible milestone of one of really interesting countries, but also a bit underrated, I would say, on the Sahaj panorama. And this is the country Romania. They have just reached an incredible milestone, which is their first international Yuva Shakti seminar. So to talk about this, I have invited one of the organizer, the great Shivangi. Hello, Shivangi. Welcome to Such Times.
Yeah, hi Lela. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you really much for joining. And first of all, how are you and where are you right now?
So, I am currently in Cluj, Romania, in the heart of Transylvania, as they call it.
Okay, really cool, really cool. And can I ask you something about you? Because like, what do you do for a living? If you want to tell us, or something more related to about Sahaja Yoga. So, were you raised in Sahaja Yoga? Were you born in Sahaja Yoga? You got into Sahaja Yoga later in life.
So, I come from, let's say, traditional Sahaj family, right? My parents got married in Sahaj, and then I grew up in Sahaj. Yeah. And now I am a piano teacher. I teach piano to little kids and adults also. And that's how I spent my time.
Yeah, really interesting. If you guys want to learn piano, I think you've got the right person to ask to. And where you did you ever go to any Sahaj school?
Not as a child, but the last school year I went as an auntie in Devi school, which was a
Okay.
really fun experience and kind of fulfilled my desire to go to a Sahaj school.
Really amazing. I wanted to go to the Davis School for 1 year. Nobody really knows that, but I was really lost in life for one when I was like 19. I didn't know to which university to go to, and I was like, I did like an exam to go to like a computer science university, but I was like, if it doesn't go really well, I think I will go to the Davis School, and I got accepted, so I went there, and still never been. I've never touched any Sahaj school ever, so maybe one day it will be my time.
One
Who
day for
knows?
sure, because it's really an incredible experience. It really teaches you a lot about everything, especially yourself.
And talking about this, I wanted to dive a little bit more about Romania in general because I've never been there and it sounds really amazing. It's one of the countries that I really would love to visit. And can you give me the big picture of how is Sahaja Yoga in Romania? Like how many collectives, ashrams? How big is the collective, more or less?
Yes, so Romania is definitely a really nice country that deserves to be visited by everyone. We love to have a great time here, and yeah, so we have about 25 cities in which there are public programs. So of course, yogis live in more cities than that. So we have one ashram in Bucharest and one center in Cluj that we own. And then in the rest of the cities, they either rent or they do their programs in different locations. Um, yeah, so the city that I come from, Cluj, is one of the first cities where Sahaja Yoga started, with the first being, of course, Bucharest, the capital city, and then Brasov. And Shrimataji came to Romania about 7 times,
Hmm.
mostly in Bucharest, but then there was the only puja that happened was in Timișoara, which, fun fact about this city, is the first European city to be lit by electrical street lamps. And the puja that Shumataji did there was Diwali puja. So it's quite
Wow.
symbolic.
Wow, it sounded really random, but you made it work. Okay, the Diwali one. Okay, now it makes really sense. Really cool.
Yeah. And yeah, we have, let's say, the Yuva hubs of Romania are in Bucharest and Brasov. And then the rest of us are kind of scattered all around Romania and also abroad.
Makes sense to me. Also because we are outside of Romania and mostly in Europe, or maybe it's just me. Romanian is known because it's the home of Dracula. Is the place with wonderful mountains, with really incredible gothic castles, but also many really deep yogis. And it's really incredible that you guys started organizing the first international seminar there, and some friends of mine went there, and one of the side effects of this, I would say, seminar is that we met because of this seminar, because the Italians went there and they invited you back to Rome, so we actually met and we made this podcast happening. Can you tell us a little bit more about this seminar?
Yes. So this seminar was a really incredible experience from all points of view. Uh, Actually, when we first started organizing it, we never really thought about it as being the very first international seminar. We just wanted to make it happen and just take each day by day. Uh, but it just happened that everything worked out, and everything worked out very smoothly. And yeah, it was a really incredible thing to see this happening. As the desire to make a seminar, and especially an international one, was there for many years, but it's never really materialized. And then, in a very spontaneous way, one uncle, uh, he just called us, made a group chat, and he's like, okay, I have a location for you guys. If you want to make a seminar, you can make it happen. If not, we'll use it for something else. So everything was very done in a very detached way. Detached not in that we don't care about it, but detached in a way that we weren't um, too we weren't attached to the outcome of it. We just really had the desire and in us to make this happen, and also the faith in Shumataji that it will make it work.
And apparently it really paid off, because when we met you told me that it was overbooked with the registrations, right?
Uh, yes. So even with the registrations, actually, we didn't make a big fuss of it, and the spots that we had for the location, they all got booked up, and we didn't even have too many overbooked. It was really the right amount of registrations as the location, so it really all worked out. And even when we invited people that we knew, so we were expecting that, like for people that we know to come. But in the end, there were so many people that we've never met before, and maybe for some of them, it was their very first seminar. So it was a really nice outcome.
And but how was the location? If I'm trying to picture it, if you had to describe it.
Oh, well, the location was really beautiful. Everyone arrived at night, so no one could really look outside. And then when we came for morning meditation, it was just so beautiful, just hills everywhere, blue sky. It was very aesthetic looking,
Okay,
let's
cool.
say.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I went to my first international seminar. It was just a life changing moment for me because it was in Rome. I was like around 15 and I'd never been to Cabela before. So I went there and then I saw those people again 6 months later in Cabela, and it felt like a huge crossover movie, just like those Avengers movie when you get to see some people singularly and then everyone is together there in Cabela, and it's just a really amazing feeling. If you guys never been to one international seminar, guys, you definitely have to go to. And I'm talking to like the newcomers in the Yuva Shakti. It would be like a life-changing moment. Do you guys have like any other plan for the future about seminars? I mean, it sounds like it went really well. Are you already planning something else?
Yes, definitely. We wanted to make it almost like an yearly thing, that we invite people in Romania for any type of event. The main focus is also to find locations that makes it affordable to everyone. Like no one should feel like they cannot come for their spiritual ascent because of financial situations. So that is one important thing. And then also, um, yeah, we are trying to find locations that are really beautiful to inspire the spiritual growth.
Yeah, more aesthetic ones, as you mentioned before. Now, okay, I would like to dive more into Romania in general again because I'm really interested about, I would say, the culture and how Sahaja Yoga is seen in Romania. When you do like public programs, when you try to get people to know about Sahaja Yoga, how do you guys, do they actually react to Sahaja Yoga? Because if I'm not wrong, there is some Orthodox Christian religious background behind it. So how, in your experience, how do people react to Sahaja Yoga?
So I think it has definitely changed over the years. Um, Nowadays, it's a lot easier to talk about Sahaja Yoga and just yoga in general, and people actually are keen to try it out. Um, yeah, as you mentioned, as Romanians come from a heavy Christian background, the actually there is a plus side to it. So I think in Orthodox religion, are once you are firm in your belief, you go all in. So I think that also translates to Sahaj. Whenever seekers come and they really they really believe in Sahaj and they find the thing they were looking for, they are 100% in.
That's really interesting because, in my experience, when you have like a country with a strong religious roots, the yogis also, they come from that with that background. They also are a little bit strict, when it comes to Sahaja Yoga. They instantly bring that experience in Sahaja Yoga.
Uh, yes, for sure. There is one.
One side
There is
effect.
that side of it. Yeah, I mean, definitely Romanians love the Indian culture,
Hmm.
uh, because during communism there were cowboy movies and Indian movies that were being streamed, and a lot of people really enjoyed the Indian movies, just the way they are dressed, the way they sing, the way they dance. So, for example, my mom is from India, so whenever any Romanian, any stranger would see her, they would have so many questions about India.
Wow, interesting. Okay, and is there anything else you would like to add about the seminar or anything else?
I guess I guess our attitude about the seminar really helped it go further and actually make it happen. And then also the relationship that we had with the aunties and uncles and their help was really important in getting it done, because uh, just trying to separate groups like the Yuva group and the uncles group, it's kind of difficult to make things happen. But when we all come together and there is a collaboration, things work out so smoothly to the point where we don't even have to think about anything. Things just flow.
This is not the first time that I hear something about this. And even when you will see it later, guys, but it's already recorded. We did an episode about the tour, the upcoming tour in Brazil, and this also came up. The thing that for Yuva Shakti, at least, Yuva Shakti is not a separate corporation from the collective. But in the back of our mind, we kind of feel that in general, people see the Yuva Shakti as something separate. No?
Yeah,
I don't know where does
definitely.
it come from.
Yeah, so many times they're like, okay, the Yuvas will take care of that, but actually there isn't like a separate. It is not a separate entity. We are all yogis, and we have to work hand in hand with our own experiences, and that's I think the diversity of these experiences is what makes things work. The main part of the seminar, our focus was to give enough time for the US to really get to know each other and just have their own discussion that bond them together. I think for all of us that were part of the organizing team, we really felt like it's really important for US to create a bond in the seminar. So we offered a lot of free time. So each day we just so each day we made a list of things that we needed to do. So in the very first day we had some icebreakers, and then later we had the puja. Then in the next day um, we had a public program in a neighboring city. So the full day was focused on that. And then the last day, we did a hike, and then we had some Sahaj discussions at the end to wrap it up. And it seems like we did a lot of everything, but even timing wise, it really flowed well because we weren't stressed about planning each hour of the day. We just had some objectives for each day.
Yeah, less is more sometimes, and yeah, also in my experience in the seminar that I went to, the really seminar filled with activities maybe sometimes were a little bit too much, and I know the organizers want us to be like entertained, but also to give us a little bit time to bond together and go doing organizing a seminar to not a seminar, a public program together, or preparing the puja all together is just an amazing moment. Can I ask you which ice breaks were the best, which ones were the worst in your opinion?
Like in general, from all
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
seminars.
ones that you did during the seminar, because sometimes some can be a bit cringe, but some work really, really well.
So the one that we did, I think it worked pretty well. We did inner circle, outer circle. So the circle in the middle would sit, and then the outer circle would move each 2 minutes, every 2 minutes. And then on the clock, you had 2 minutes to discuss with the person in front of you about anything, any topic. And it did work out well because in 2 minutes you don't have enough time to touch on a lot of things. So then after the icebreaker was done, you could actually go and finish your conversation. So I think that worked really well.
Ah, no, yeah, that's really cool. Also, because talk sometimes it's easier to talk to strangers about yourself rather than the people that you really already know. Depends on yourself and on the scenario. So I think we can wrap it up. Thank you very much, Shivangi, for your experience in the international Romanian seminar. And guys, I think if you want to see a new country, something really different, something amazing, but some strong cultural roots, I think Romania is the way.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I'm going. I will go to the next seminar. If you're doing a tour seminar, I will be down for it. And if you want to come back to talk about it, about the future seminar, you're always welcome, Shivangi. And thank you really much for joining. Thank you really much for
Yes, thank you
joining and
so
for
much for
sharing.
having me.
Yeah. So this was Sahaj Times podcast, everyone. Bye.